Little girl, this isn't a playground. These symbols aren't decorations for you to scribble over. Dr. Richard Pemberton's voice echoed through the empty Hartwell University classroom as he discovered 12-year-old Zara Williams standing at the blackboard, her small hand clutching a piece of chalk. It was 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. While her father, Jerome, mopped floors in the hallway, Zara had wandered into the mathematics department's most prestigious lecture hall. The blackboard displayed what professors called the Hartwell conjecture, a problem that had stumped brilliant minds for over a decade. But Zara wasn't just looking at it. She was solving it. Dr. Pemberton didn't bother to examine her work. Instead, he grabbed the eraser and swept it across the board with theatrical disgust, as if cleaning dirt from expensive furniture. Each stroke erased hours of careful calculation. Zara watched her breakthrough disappear into chalk dust. Have you ever watched someone's potential get erased right before your eyes? Hartwell University's mathematics department wasn't just prestigious. It was a fortress of academic superiority. Located in Chicago's most expensive district, the limestone buildings housed some of the world's brightest mathematical minds. Students paid $50,000 a year just for the privilege of sitting in these classrooms. At the center of it all stood the Hartwell conjecture. For 12 years, this single mathematical problem had defeated every attempt at a solution. Graduate students had written entire dissertations trying to crack it. Professors from MIT, Stanford, and Cambridge had traveled here specifically to tackle it. All had failed. The university had even established a $50,000 prize fund, the Pemberton Prize, for anyone who could solve it. Named after Dr. Richard Pemberton, the department head who had spent 3 decades building his reputation as the man who was never wrong in public. But tonight, while the academic elite slept in their comfortable homes, Jerome Williams pushed his cleaning cart through these hallowed halls. He'd worked the night shift for 8 years, invisible to the professors who barely acknowledged his existence during the day. Jerome brought his daughter Zara with him during school breaks. She was homeschooled, brilliant in ways that traditional education couldn't contain. While other 12-year-olds played video games, Zara found puzzles in everything: patterns in floor tiles, sequences in building numbers, equations hidden in everyday life. The mathematics department fascinated her most. She'd spend hours studying the equations professors left on whiteboards, working through problems in her head while her father cleaned around her. The janitor's daughter, teaching herself calculus from academic scraps. Most professors barely noticed her. When they did, they'd smile politely and ask if she was lost. The security guards knew her as Jerome's kid. Harmless enough, as long as she stayed quiet and out of the way. Dr. Pemberton noticed her differently. Every interaction carried a subtle edge, a reminder that this wasn't her world. When Zara accidentally bumped into him last month, he'd brushed off his jacket as if she'd contaminated it. When she asked Jerome about a mathematical symbol, Pemberton had suggested they keep family conversations in the hallway. These weren't overt acts of racism. They were dead by 1,000 cuts. The raised eyebrow when Jerome needed badge access. The assumption that any mess near them was their fault. The way conversations stopped when they entered a room, then resumed in lower tones. Jerome felt it too, but he needed this job. Single father, high school diploma, raising a gifted daughter in a world that barely saw her potential. He swallowed each slight, smiled politely, and focused on providing stability for Zara. The department operated on an unspoken hierarchy. Full professors at the top, then associate professors, assistant professors, graduate students, undergraduates. Somewhere far below, invisible and essential, came the support staff. People like Jerome existed to maintain the environment where real intellectual work happened. Dr. Pemberton ruled this kingdom with academic authority earned through decades of publications, conferences, and carefully cultivated influence. His upcoming book, The Limits of Mathematical Possibility, would cement his legacy as the man who proved some problems were simply unsolvable. The annual Mathematics Symposium was 3 days away. This year's event would be special, Pemberton planned to officially declare the Hartwell conjecture retired. After 12 years of failed attempts, he would demonstrate mathematically why the problem couldn't be solved. 500 of the world's top mathematicians would attend in person. Thousands more would watch the live stream. It would be Pemberton's moment of ultimate triumph, the capstone to a brilliant career. The university had already prepared press releases. "Hartwell Professor proves the impossible," read the headline. Media interviews were scheduled. The book deal was finalized. Everything was perfect, except for one small detail. While Dr. Pemberton prepared his presentation about mathematical impossibility, a 12-year-old girl had been quietly working on the same problem. Night after night, while he slept, she filled notebook pages with calculations. She approached the conjecture not with advanced degrees or prestigious credentials, but with something more dangerous, a mind unconstrained by assumptions about what couldn't be done. Zara saw patterns where others saw chaos. She found shortcuts where others built elaborate detours. Most importantly, she wasn't afraid to be wrong, so she wasn't afraid to be right either. The stage was set. The academic establishment versus a janitor's daughter. Reputation versus truth. Credentials versus capability. But would anyone listen to her long enough to discover what she'd found? The departmental meeting was supposed to be closed to outsiders. But when you're invisible enough, people forget you're there. Zara sat in the hallway outside conference room 204, supposedly doing homework while her father cleaned the adjacent offices. Through the slightly open door, she could hear Dr. Pemberton addressing 15 of the department's most senior faculty members. "After 12 years of futile attempts, it's time we acknowledge reality," Pemberton's voice carried clearly through the quiet hallway. "The Hartwell conjecture has defeated our brightest doctoral candidates, visiting scholars from Harvard and Oxford, even our most seasoned researchers." He clicked to his next slide. Zara could see the projection on the far wall, a complex mathematical proof filled with symbols and equations. "My comprehensive analysis demonstrates why this problem exists in what I call the mathematical impossibility zone," Pemberton continued. "Some questions simply have no answers. The upcoming symposium will be the perfect venue to officially retire this conjecture and redirect our department's resources toward more productive pursuits." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the room. Department heads nodded sagely. This was academic consensus in action, the collective wisdom of experts reaching a logical conclusion. But Zara had been studying that same proof for weeks. She'd seen Dr. Pemberton's preliminary work on various whiteboards throughout the building, and she'd noticed something that made her stomach tighten with excitement and disbelief. He was wrong, not just slightly off or missing a minor detail. Fundamentally, catastrophically wrong. In his fourth assumption, Dr. Pemberton treated variable k as a constant when it should remain dynamic across the integral boundary. This single error cascaded through his entire impossibility proof, invalidating 12 pages of sophisticated mathematics. Zara had discovered this 3 days ago while working through the problem herself. She'd triple-checked her reasoning, tested it against simpler examples, even worked backwards from the conclusion. Every approach confirmed the same thing. The Hartwell conjecture wasn't impossible. It was just misunderstood. The meeting continued inside. Dr. Pemberton outlined his plan for the symposium presentation, the media strategy, and the book tour that would follow. His colleagues offered congratulations on solving the unsolvable problem by proving it couldn't be solved. Zara felt a strange mixture of excitement and terror. She possessed knowledge that could change everything. But she was a 12-year-old black girl, the janitor's daughter, sitting in a hallway where she wasn't supposed to be listening. When the meeting ended, faculty members filed out past her. Most didn't acknowledge her presence. Dr. Pemberton glanced down with mild irritation, as if wondering why furniture had been left in the corridor. That evening, as Jerome finished his rounds, Zara couldn't contain herself any longer. "Dad?" she whispered, pulling out her notebook filled with calculations. I think Dr. Pemberton made a mistake about the Hartwell thing. Jerome paused his mopping. What kind of mistake, baby girl? He says it can't be solved, but look. Zara showed him her work, explaining in simple terms how the professor's proof fell apart when you accounted for the variable's changing value. Jerome studied his daughter's face. He'd seen this look before, the quiet confidence that came when Zara had worked through a problem completely. She wasn't guessing or hoping. She knew. Are you sure about this? He asked gently. I've checked it 17 different ways, Dad. He's wrong. The next morning, Jerome mentioned his daughter's observation to Marcus Carter, a friendly graduate student who sometimes chatted with the cleaning staff. Marcus initially smiled politely, until Jerome showed him Zara's notebook. Within hours, word had spread through the department's informal network. A janitor's daughter thought she'd found an error in Dr. Pemberton's work. When the story reached Dr. Pemberton himself, his reaction was swift and public. Would a respected professor take corrections from a child seriously, or would pride turn this into something much bigger? Dr. Pemberton's response came during the next day's faculty lunch meeting. Word of the janitor's daughter situation had reached enough people that he felt compelled to address it publicly. I understand there's been some amateur commentary on my recent work, he announced to the gathered professors, his tone carrying just enough amusement to signal how seriously he took the matter. Perhaps this presents a teachable moment about the difference between professional mathematics and playground arithmetic. He gestured toward the conference room's whiteboard. I'll demonstrate my impossibility proof one more time, step by step, so there can be no confusion about the rigor involved. 15 faculty members watched as Dr. Pemberton began writing his equations. Each step was methodical, precise, designed to showcase the sophisticated reasoning that had eluded lesser minds for over a decade. Unknown to the professors, Jerome was cleaning the adjacent hallway, and unknown to Jerome, Zara had followed him to work early that day, curious about how the department would respond to her father's disclosure. She pressed herself against the wall beside the partially open door, notebook clutched in her small hands. As you can see, Dr. Pemberton continued, filling the whiteboard with complex formulas, the conjecture creates what I call a mathematical paradox loop. Every attempted solution eventually contradicts its own initial assumptions. He pointed to his fourth line of reasoning. Here, we treat variable k as our boundary constant, which allows us to demonstrate the impossibility through integration by parts. Zara's heart began racing. There it was, the exact error she'd identified. Dr. Pemberton was treating k as fixed when it actually needed to change values as it crossed the integral boundary. It was like trying to measure a growing plant with a ruler that shrunk at the same rate. The professors nodded appreciatively. Dr. Sarah Carter from Stanford, visiting for the semester, asked a clarifying question about the seventh step. Dr. Mills from MIT complimented the elegance of the approach. This is why, Dr. Pemberton concluded with satisfaction, we can definitively state that the Hartwell conjecture belongs in the category of mathematical impossibilities. No solution exists because no solution can exist. Applause filled the room. Several professors began discussing the implications for their own research areas. During the break, as faculty members chatted over coffee and pastries, Zara made a decision that would change everything. She slipped into the conference room. The whiteboard still displayed Dr. Pemberton's proof in all its intimidating complexity. Zara approached it slowly, her reflection dwarfed by the towering equations. She picked up a red marker from the tray. Starting at Dr. Pemberton's fourth assumption, she began to write, not erasing his work, but adding annotations in the margins. Small corrections that revealed the fundamental flaw running through his entire argument. First, she circled the problematic k variable. Then, in neat handwriting, she showed how its value needed to shift when crossing the boundary condition. Next, she demonstrated what happened to the rest of the proof when you corrected this single error. The impossibility disappeared. The mathematical paradox resolved itself. The path to a solution became visible. When Dr. Pemberton returned from the break, expecting to field a few more admiring questions, he found a 12-year-old girl standing at his whiteboard. His pristine proof now bore red annotations that transformed its meaning entirely. "Excuse me," he said sharply. "What exactly do you think you're doing?" The room fell silent. 15 distinguished professors turned to stare at the small intruder who had dared to mark up their colleagues' work. Zara looked up, marker still in her hand. "I think you made an error in step 4, she said quietly. "You're treating K like it stays the same, but it has to change when it crosses this boundary here." She pointed to her corrections. "When you fix that, the whole impossibility thing goes away." "See?" Dr. Pemberton's face flushed red. "Young lady, this is a private faculty meeting. You have no business." "But is she right?" Dr. Carter interrupted, moving closer to examine the whiteboard. For several long moments the room was completely quiet, except for the sound of Dr. Carter's pen scratching against paper as she worked through Zara's corrections. Dr. Mills joined her, then Dr. Rodriguez from the algebra department. One by one, the professors began verifying the 12-year-old's mathematical reasoning. "This is actually correct," Dr. Carter said slowly, disbelief evident in her voice. "The variable substitution she's suggesting here, it does resolve the paradox." Dr. Mills looked up from his calculations. "Richard, I think she's found a genuine error in your foundational assumption." The room erupted in whispers. Phones appeared as professors began taking pictures of the annotated whiteboard. Someone mentioned posting to the mathematics forums online. Dr. Pemberton stared at his life's work, now covered in red corrections made by a child who shouldn't even be in the building. His carefully constructed proof, the foundation for his upcoming book, his symposium presentation, his entire professional legacy, had been dismantled by a janitor's daughter using high school algebra. "This is," he stammered, then caught himself. Years of academic training kicked in. Never show weakness in public. Never admit fundamental error, especially not to a child. "A lucky guess," he said finally, his voice strained but controlled. Any undergraduate student could have spotted that. Eventually. These kinds of computational oversights are common in preliminary work, but the damage was done. Every professor in that room now knew that Dr. Pemberton's impossibility proof was wrong. More importantly, they knew that a 12-year-old had proven it wrong using mathematical reasoning they could all verify and understand. Dr. Carter turned to Zara with genuine curiosity. "Have you worked through the entire conjecture or just identified this error?" Zara clutched her notebook tighter. I think I might have found a way to solve the whole thing." The silence that followed was deafening. What would happen when word of this spread beyond the conference room walls? By 6 p.m. that evening, the story had escaped the confines of Hartwell University. Dr. Carter had mentioned it to a colleague at Stanford during their regular video call. Dr. Mills texted his research partner at MIT. Dr. Rodriguez posted a cryptic message on academic Twitter. "Witnessed something extraordinary today." Sometimes wisdom comes from the most unexpected sources. The mathematics community is smaller than most people realize. Within hours, professors across 3 time zones were buzzing about the same rumor. A 12-year-old had found an error in Richard Pemberton's famous impossibility proof. The story grew with each retelling. By midnight, mathematics forums were flooded with speculation. Was this legitimate? Could a child really have spotted something that PhD mathematicians had missed? What did this mean for the upcoming symposium? Mathematics Today, the field's most widely read publication, reached out to Hartwell's Media Relations Department for comment. The Chicago Tribune's science reporter started making phone calls. Academic blogs began crafting headlines. Child prodigy challenges famous professor. 12-year-old versus mathematical establishment. Janitor's daughter shakes academic world. The story had everything viral content needed: an underdog, an authority figure, intellectual drama, and the possibility of watching someone powerful get proven wrong in public. Dr. Pemberton felt the walls closing in. His phone buzzed constantly with calls from colleagues, reporters, and curious academics. His carefully planned symposium presentation, designed to showcase his intellectual authority, was becoming a potential public humiliation. But Richard Pemberton hadn't survived 30 years in academia by backing down from challenges. If this child wanted to play in the professional arena, he would treat her like any other opponent. At 9 a.m. the next morning, he called an emergency press conference. "Recent rumors about my research have created unnecessary confusion," he announced to the assembled reporters and faculty members. "In the interest of academic transparency, I'm extending a formal invitation." He paused for dramatic effect. "If Miss Williams believes she can solve what our finest minds cannot, she is welcome to present her findings at this weekend's mathematics symposium. Let the global mathematical community judge the validity of her claims." The challenge was masterfully crafted. Publicly, it appeared generous and fair-minded. Privately, it was designed to destroy a 12-year-old's confidence in front of the world's most prestigious mathematicians. The original symposium had expected 500 attendees. Within 24 hours of Pemberton's announcement, registration swelled to over 1,000. Universities began arranging satellite viewing parties. Mathematics departments worldwide cleared their schedules. The live stream, originally projected to draw 5,000 viewers, was now trending toward 50,000. Someone had created a hashtag Zara vs. Pemberton. Betting pools emerged on academic forums, though most money favored the established professor. Additional pressure came from unexpected sources. Dr. Harrison Mills flew in from MIT specifically to observe. Dr. Sarah Carter extended her Stanford visit to witness the confrontation. Distinguished professors from Cambridge, Oxford, and the Sorbonne confirmed their attendance. The media attention intensified everything. Camera crews appeared on campus. Reporters tried to interview Jerome during his shift. Social media influencers who normally covered celebrity gossip began posting about the math battle everyone's talking about. But the escalation created new rules that heavily favored Dr. Pemberton's experience. Zara wouldn't just need to identify errors anymore. She would need to present a formal mathematical proof, complete with rigorous documentation and peer-reviewable methodology. She would face a 45-minute time limit, followed by an unrestricted question-and-answer session with hostile experts. Most challenging of all, she would need to do this while 1,000 of the world's most accomplished mathematicians watched her every move, many of them skeptical that a child could contribute anything meaningful to their field. The stakes had transformed completely. This was no longer about a simple calculation error. Zara's performance would either validate her mathematical intuition or publicly humiliate her in front of the global academic community. Dr. Pemberton's reputation, meanwhile, faced a different kind of pressure. If he lost to a 12-year-old, his career would become a cautionary tale about academic arrogance. But if he won, as everyone expected, he would be seen as the distinguished professor who graciously educated a misguided child. Jerome watched the mounting circus with growing concern. His quiet, brilliant daughter had become the center of an international controversy that could change their lives forever. "You don't have to do this, baby girl," he told Zara as they sat in their small apartment, surrounded by news articles about the upcoming confrontation. "Nobody would blame you for walking away." Zara looked up from her notebook, where she'd been refining her approach to the Hartwell conjecture. "Dad, what if I'm right? What if I can really solve it?" "Then you solve it," Jerome said gently. "But you solve it for the right reasons. Not to prove anything to people who already made up their minds about you." Outside their window, Chicago hummed with its usual energy. Inside their home, a 12-year-old girl prepared to face the biggest intellectual challenge of her life. But did she have any idea what she was truly up against? 72 hours until the symposium. Zara's world transformed overnight. The quiet girl who used to solve problems in empty hallways was now the center of a mathematical storm that reached every corner of the academic universe. Her preparation began in the most unlikely place, the university's janitor supply closet. Jerome had cleared out a small space where Zara could work undisturbed, away from the cameras and curious professors who now seemed to lurk around every corner. Surrounded by mops and cleaning supplies, she spread her notebooks across a makeshift desk. The Hartwell conjecture stared back at her in all its intimidating complexity. But Zara had something most mathematicians lacked. She wasn't afraid of it. Day 1. The Foundation. While Dr. Pemberton refined his counter-arguments in his prestigious corner office, Zara worked by the light of a single desk lamp. She knew her approach was unconventional. Instead of building elaborate mathematical scaffolding like trained academics, she used pattern recognition and intuitive leaps. "Think of it like music, Dad," she explained to Jerome during his dinner break. "Most people try to play every note perfectly, but sometimes you can hear the melody by skipping the complicated parts." Her method involved identifying recurring patterns within the conjecture's structure. Where others saw random complexity, she found hidden rhythms. It was mathematical jazz, improvisation guided by deep understanding of the underlying harmonies. But her confidence wavered when she attempted to translate her intuitive solution into formal mathematical language. Academic presentations required specific terminology, rigorous proofs, and step-by-step logic that left no room for interpretative leaps. Mini loss. Her first practice presentation lasted 12 minutes. She needed 48 hours remaining. Dr. Elena Vasquez appeared at the supply closet door during the second night. The visiting professor from Universidad Nacional had been quietly observing the controversy, and something about Zara's approach intrigued her. "May I see your work?" she asked gently. Zara hesitated, then showed Dr. Vasquez her notebooks. Page after page of calculations, pattern analyses, and geometric visualizations that looked nothing like traditional mathematical proofs. Dr. Vasquez studied the work for 30 minutes without speaking. Finally, she looked up with something approaching wonder. "This is remarkable. You're solving the conjecture by treating it as a dynamic system instead of a static equation. I've never seen this approach before." Mini win. For the first time, a credentialed mathematician validated Zara's methodology. Dr. Vasquez offered discreet guidance. Not coaching, that would violate academic ethics, but clarification about formal presentation requirements and mathematical notation conventions. 36 hours remaining. The online harassment began on mathematics forums and social media. Anonymous accounts posted brutal commentary. Child exploitation disguised as academic discourse. This is what happens when we lower standards for publicity. Pemberton should be ashamed for entertaining this circus. Someone's using that kid to make fools of real mathematicians. Jerome tried to shield Zara from the worst comments, but she saw enough to understand the stakes. Half the mathematical world wanted her to succeed as an inspiring underdog story. The other half wanted her to fail as a lesson about staying in your lane. Mini loss. Zara spent 3 hours reading criticism instead of preparing, shaking her confidence. 24 hours remaining. The technical presentation setup became another obstacle. The symposium required PowerPoint slides, laser pointers, and wireless microphones, tools Zara had never used for academic presentations. During her practice run in the actual auditorium, everything went wrong. The slides wouldn't advance properly. Her voice barely carried through the sound system. The massive screen made her handwriting look childish and unprofessional. "I can't do this," she whispered to Jerome after the disastrous rehearsal. "I understand the math, but I don't understand their world." Mini win. Dr. Vasquez suggested a different approach. Forget technology. Use the blackboard. Show them your thinking in real time, the way mathematicians have done for centuries. 18 hours remaining. Word leaked that Dr. Pemberton's allies were spreading doubt about ghostwriting and coaching. Professors whispered about the impossibility of a 12-year-old developing such sophisticated mathematical reasoning without adult assistance. The accusations stung because they contained a grain of perceived truth. Zara had learned from textbooks, online resources, and overheard lectures. In traditional academic terms, she was entirely self-taught, which made her insights seem suspicious to people who equated credentials with capability. Mini loss. 3 professors publicly questioned the authenticity of her work. 12 hours remaining. Unable to sleep, Zara practiced her presentation for an audience of night shift janitors in the university cafeteria. Carlos, Maria, and Dennis didn't understand advanced mathematics, but they understood Zara. "Explain it like you're teaching my 10-year-old granddaughter," Maria suggested. This became Zara's breakthrough moment. Instead of trying to sound like a professor, she decided to sound like herself. Her presentation transformed from academic jargon into clear, passionate explanation. Mini-win. She could make complex concepts accessible without dumbing them down. 6 hours remaining. Jerome found Zara in the supply closet at 3 a.m., surrounded by crumpled papers and empty coffee cups. She'd been working for 18 straight hours, refining her approach one final time. "Baby girl, you need some sleep." "I can't, Dad." "What if I forget something important? What if I make a mistake in front of all those people? What if they're right and I'm just a kid who got lucky once?" Jerome sat beside his daughter among the cleaning supplies. "You know what I learned in 12 years of watching professors? The smartest ones aren't afraid to say, 'I don't know.' The dangerous ones are afraid to say, 'I was wrong.'" He pointed to her notebooks filled with corrections, revisions, and alternative approaches. "Look at all this work. You're not afraid to be wrong, so you're not afraid to be right either. That's your superpower. 3 hours remaining." As dawn broke over Chicago, Zara made her final preparations. She organized her key insights onto index cards, not as a script, but as guideposts for spontaneous explanation. She practiced her opening statement one last time. The social pressure cooker had reached its peak. Mathematics forums buzzed with predictions. Betting pools favored Dr. Pemberton 7-1. News crews set up outside the university. Academic Twitter exploded with commentary from professors worldwide. But in the quiet of the supply closet, surrounded by the tools of her father's honest work, Zara felt something unexpected. Peace. She understood mathematics. She could explain her reasoning. Whatever happened next would happen because she'd earned the right to try. It's time. Jerome walked his daughter toward the auditorium where 1,000 mathematicians waited to judge her work. Neither of them spoke. There was nothing left to say. In 2 hours, the world would know whether a janitor's daughter could solve what professors couldn't. But first, she had to survive the biggest intellectual performance of her life. Was she ready for what waited behind those auditorium doors? 1 hour before the symposium began, Dr. Elena Vasquez made a discovery that changed everything. She'd been reviewing her email archive, searching for references to the Hartwell conjecture for a paper she was writing about mathematical problem-solving approaches. What she found made her blood run cold. Buried in her university account was a forwarded message from 14 months ago. The original sender, Dr. Richard Pemberton. The recipient, Dr. James Morrison at Princeton. The subject line, confidential. Potential issue with HC proof. Dr. Vasquez read the email chain with growing disbelief. Morrison, need your discreet opinion on attached analysis. Found potential error in my impossibility framework. Variable K behavior is more complex than initially calculated. Could invalidate the entire approach. Implications for book deal and symposium timeline significant. Thoughts? Morrison's response was equally damning. Richard, you're right to be concerned. The error cascades through your foundational assumptions, suggests the conjecture might actually be solvable using an alternative approach. Recommend revisiting before publication. Pemberton's final message in the chain: agree. We'll bury this analysis pending further review. Too much at stake to rush corrections. Book deadlines and symposium commitments make timing problematic. Dr. Vasquez stared at her screen in horror. Dr. Pemberton hadn't just made an error. He'd discovered his own error over a year ago and deliberately concealed it. The man who was about to publicly humiliate a 12-year-old child had known all along that his impossibility proof was fundamentally flawed. The Hartwell conjecture wasn't unsolvable. Pemberton simply hadn't figured out how to solve it, and his pride wouldn't let him admit the mistake that undermined his entire academic reputation. This wasn't about mathematical disagreement anymore. It was about deliberate academic dishonesty. Dr. Vasquez grabbed her laptop and headed for the auditorium. Zara needed to know what she was really up against. But when she arrived at the building, security had already locked down the presentation area. No unauthorized access, no last-minute disruptions. Dr. Pemberton's influence had ensured complete control over the symposium environment. Through the lobby windows, she could see Zara in the preparation room, making final notes on her index cards. The girl had no idea she was about to face not just intellectual challenge, but deliberate sabotage from a professor willing to destroy a child's confidence to protect his own legacy. The stakes had shifted completely. If Zara succeeded, she wouldn't just solve a mathematical problem. She would expose one of the academic world's most respected figures as a fraud. But if she failed, Dr. Pemberton would cement his reputation while crushing the dreams of a brilliant young mind who had dared to challenge his authority. Dr. Vasquez pressed her phone against the glass, desperately trying to signal Zara about the conspiracy she was walking into. Would justice prevail, or would a 12-year-old girl become the casualty of academic corruption? 15 minutes before her presentation, Zara discovered that someone had systematically destroyed her preparation materials. Her carefully organized index cards were missing from the preparation room table where she'd left them. The backup notebooks she'd stored in her father's cleaning cart had vanished. Even the spare pencils and erasers she'd packed were gone. But the cruelest blow came when she approached the presentation computer. The PowerPoint file she'd spent hours creating as a backup option displayed an error message. File corrupted. Cannot open. Someone had accessed her presentation materials and eliminated every safety net she'd built. "Dad, everything's gone," she whispered to Jerome, who'd been waiting outside the preparation room. Her voice carried the hollow tone of someone whose worst fears had just materialized. Jerome's jaw tightened as he surveyed the empty table. "Baby girl, we both know this wasn't an accident." Through the preparation room window, they could see Dr. Pemberton in the corridor, greeting distinguished colleagues with confident handshakes and warm smiles. He appeared completely relaxed, like a man certain of victory. The auditorium was filling rapidly. Over 1,000 mathematicians had traveled from around the world to witness this confrontation. The live stream viewer count had reached 75,000 and climbing. News cameras captured every moment. "Maybe this is a sign," Zara said, slumping into a chair. "Maybe I was never supposed to be here." That's when Dr. Pemberton made his masterpiece move. He knocked gently on the preparation room door, his expression a perfect mask of concerned mentorship. "Miss Williams, I hope you're feeling prepared. Though I must say there have been some concerning developments." He produced a manila folder with theatrical precision. "It's come to my attention that several graduate students have been sharing advanced mathematical techniques with you over the past week. While I'm sure your intentions were innocent, academic integrity requires full disclosure of all assistance received." The accusation was devastating in its subtlety. He wasn't directly calling her a cheater, but he was planting doubt about the authenticity of her work in front of anyone within earshot. "I haven't received any help," Zara protested weakly. Of course, Dr. Pemberton replied with patronizing kindness. But appearances matter in academic settings. Perhaps we should postpone your presentation until we can verify your sources. I'm sure the audience would understand the need for proper verification procedures. Jerome stepped forward, recognizing the trap. She earned her place here fair and square. Indeed, Dr. Pemberton smiled coldly. Though I wonder if Miss Williams truly comprehends the magnitude of what she's attempting. These distinguished colleagues have dedicated their entire careers to mathematical research. Perhaps it would be kinder to spare her the inevitable disappointment. The psychological warfare was perfect. Every word was designed to make Zara question herself, to make her feel small and out of place among the academic giants waiting in the auditorium. Zara felt the walls closing in, no preparation materials, public doubts about her integrity, a hostile opponent who controlled every aspect of the environment, and 1,000 brilliant minds waiting to judge her performance. "I can't do this," she whispered, tears starting to form. "Maybe they're right, Dad. Maybe I don't belong here." She stood up and walked toward the door, ready to surrender before the battle even began. The weight of expectations, the missing materials, the accusations, everything had become too much for a 12-year-old to bear. Jerome watched his daughter prepare to give up on her dreams. For a moment that felt like eternity. It seemed like Dr. Pemberton had won through pure intimidation. But then Jerome remembered something his own father had told him years ago. "Baby girl, you know what you know. These walls, these degrees, these titles, they don't make truth. You do." He knelt beside his daughter in the hallway, speaking quietly but firmly. "Math doesn't care who your daddy is or what zip code you're from. 2 + 2 is 4, whether you're in the penthouse or the basement. You've got something they don't have. You're not afraid to be wrong, so you're not afraid to be right either." Zara looked up through her tears. In her father's eyes, she saw unwavering faith in her abilities. "You don't need those cards or computers, baby girl. You need what's in here." Jerome tapped gently on her chest. "Show them what understanding actually looks like." Would a 12-year-old find the courage to face 1,000 skeptics with nothing but her own mathematical intuition? The auditorium fell silent as Zara walked onto the stage. 1,000 of the world's most distinguished mathematicians filled every seat. Professors from Harvard, MIT, Stanford, Cambridge, and Oxford leaned forward in anticipation. The live stream counter showed 89,000 viewers worldwide. Camera crews from major networks captured every moment. This wasn't just an academic presentation anymore. It was a public trial where a 12-year-old black girl would either prove her extraordinary claims or face humiliation in front of the global mathematical community. Dr. Pemberton stepped to the podium first, his voice carrying the authority of 3 decades in academia. "Ladies and gentlemen, we gather today for an unusual circumstance. Our youngest presenter will now attempt to solve what has challenged our finest minds for over a decade." He gestured toward Zara with calculated condescension. "While I admire youthful enthusiasm, I trust our community will apply the same rigorous standards we demand of all mathematical claims. Let us give Miss Williams our patient attention." Scattered applause filled the vast space. Some professors smiled indulgently, as if watching a child's piano recital. Others appeared skeptical, already preparing their critiques. Zara approached the massive blackboard that dominated the front wall. No PowerPoint slides, no laser pointer, no notes. Just chalk and the mathematical intuition that had brought her to this moment. The auditorium held its collective breath. "Dr. Pemberton says the Hartwell conjecture is impossible to solve," Zara began, her young voice steady despite the magnitude of the moment. "But I think everyone's been asking the wrong question." She picked up a piece of chalk and began writing. Not complex equations, but simple geometric shapes. Everyone assumes this problem is asking us to find X, she continued, drawing circles and triangles on the board. But what if it's actually asking us to find Y? Murmurs rippled through the audience. Several professors exchanged glances. This wasn't how mathematical presentations typically began. Dr. Pemberton's confident expression flickered slightly. He hadn't expected Zara to start with foundational questioning rather than computational attempts. The reason traditional approaches fail, Zara explained, drawing connecting lines between her shapes, is because they treat the conjecture like a puzzle with missing pieces. But it's not missing pieces, it's the wrong puzzle entirely. She turned to face the audience directly. Dr. Pemberton, you said this was unsolvable, but you were solving a different problem. It's like trying to find the area of a circle by treating it as a square. Same numbers, wrong shape. The first key line hit its target perfectly. Dr. Pemberton's face flushed red as professors throughout the auditorium began taking notes. Zara returned to the blackboard, her confidence building with each stroke of chalk. Watch what happens when we reframe the question. What followed was 20 minutes of mathematical brilliance that defied every assumption about how complex problems should be approached. Phase 1. The foundation reset. Zara demonstrated that the Hartwell conjecture contained a hidden symmetry that previous researchers had missed. Using simple substitution methods, she showed how the apparent complexity was actually repeated patterns masquerading as unique variables. See this section here? She pointed to her work. Everyone's been treating these as separate calculations, but they're actually the same calculation in different clothes. Dr. Carter from Stanford leaned forward, furiously checking Zara's reasoning. Dr. Mills from MIT pulled out his phone to verify the substitutions. One by one, professors throughout the auditorium began nodding in recognition. Phase 2. The pattern recognition. Instead of using advanced calculus like traditional approaches, Zara identified recursive sequences that simplified the entire problem structure. She showed how the conjecture could be broken down into high school algebra combined with pattern recognition. This is why it seemed impossible, she explained, writing her next series of equations. Everyone was using college-level math to solve what's actually a pattern problem, like using a telescope to read a book. The auditorium buzzed with excitement. Phones appeared as professors began photographing the blackboard. The live stream chat exploded with commentary from mathematicians worldwide. Phase 3. The elegant solution. Zara's final breakthrough came when she demonstrated the verification steps. Not only had she solved the conjecture, but her method was reproducible by anyone with solid algebra skills. The beautiful thing about truth, she said, stepping back from the completed proof, is that it works the same way every time. Dr. Pemberton stood frozen at his table. His impossible proof, the foundation of his upcoming book, his symposium presentation, his entire recent reputation, lay in ruins on a blackboard covered with a child's clear reasoning. The room erupted. Professors jumped to their feet, rushing toward the stage to examine Zara's work more closely. Camera crews pushed forward. The live stream viewer count hit 120,000. But Zara wasn't finished. She turned to face Dr. Pemberton directly and delivered her second key line. The Hartwell conjecture isn't hard because it's complex. It's hard because everyone made it complex. Sometimes the most sophisticated minds miss the simplest truths. The silence that followed was deafening. Every person in that auditorium understood they had just witnessed something extraordinary. Not just the solution to a famous problem, but a masterclass in thinking differently. Dr. Carter was the first to break the spell. She approached the blackboard with her notebook, checking Zara's work step by step. After 5 minutes of intense verification, she turned to address the room. This is actually correct, she announced, her voice filled with wonder. The methodology is sound. The proof is complete. She solved it. Dr. Mills joined the verification, then Dr. Rodriguez, then professors from Cambridge and Oxford. One by one, the world's leading mathematicians confirmed what the 12-year-old had accomplished. The auditorium exploded in applause. Standing ovation after standing ovation rolled through the crowd. Reporters rushed to file their stories. Social media erupted with #ZaraWilliams hashtags. But all eyes eventually turned to Dr. Pemberton, who stood motionless at his table, staring at the blackboard that had just destroyed his carefully constructed academic legacy. Zara looked directly at him and delivered her third key line, the one that would silence every doubt. "Dr. Pemberton, would you like to verify my work, or should Dr. Carter handle the official confirmation?" The challenge was perfectly crafted. Refuse and appear petty. Verify and publicly acknowledge his own defeat. Dr. Pemberton approached the blackboard slowly, like a man walking to his own execution. He studied Zara's proof for what felt like hours, but was actually 3 minutes. Finally, in a voice barely above a whisper, he spoke the words that would end his reign of academic arrogance. The methodology appears sound." The room erupted again, but this time it wasn't just mathematical appreciation. It was justice. A 12-year-old janitor's daughter had just proven that brilliance doesn't require credentials and truth doesn't bow to authority. But the biggest shock was still coming. What would happen when the full extent of Dr. Pemberton's deception was revealed? As the applause died down, Dr. Elena Vasquez rose from her seat in the third row. She carried her laptop and wore the expression of someone about to detonate a bomb. "Before we conclude," she announced loudly, "there's something this community needs to see." The room fell silent. Dr. Vasquez connected her laptop to the projection system. Within seconds, a series of emails appeared on the massive screen behind Zara. 14 months ago, Dr. Pemberton discovered the same error that Miss Williams identified, she began. Rather than correcting his work, he chose to bury the evidence. Gasps echoed throughout the auditorium as professors read the projected emails. Dr. Morrison's confirmation of the error, Pemberton's acknowledgement of the problem. Most damning of all, his decision to conceal the truth to protect his book deal. Dr. Pemberton has known for over a year that the Hartwell conjecture was potentially solvable, Dr. Vasquez continued. He simply couldn't figure out how to solve it himself. The auditorium erupted. Phone cameras captured the projected emails. Live stream viewers watched the scandal unfold in real time. Academic fraud began trending alongside Zara Williams. Dr. Pemberton stood frozen, his face cycling through denial, panic, and resignation. The man who had built his reputation on never being wrong publicly had just been exposed as a deliberate fraud. Dean Richardson stepped forward from the back of the auditorium. "Dr. Pemberton, in light of this evidence, the university requires an immediate public statement." Pemberton approached the microphone like a condemned man. The same stage where he had planned to cement his legacy would now witness its destruction. He stammered, barely audible. "I acknowledge that Miss Williams has successfully solved the Hartwell conjecture, and that my previous assessment was incomplete." The words hung in the air like a confession. Dr. Vasquez wasn't finished. "Dr. Pemberton, would you also like to acknowledge that you deliberately concealed your knowledge of the error for 14 months while preparing to humiliate a child?" The silence that followed was absolute. In that moment, 1,000 mathematicians and 150,000 online viewers witnessed the complete destruction of academic arrogance and the triumph of truth over reputation. But what would this mean for Zara's future? What happened next would be remembered as one of the most powerful moments in academic history. The entire auditorium rose to their feet. Not polite applause, but thunderous recognition that shook the building. Professors who had dedicated their lives to mathematics stood and cheered for a 12-year-old who had just redefined what was possible. Dr. Carter approached Zara first, extending her hand with genuine respect. "Miss Williams, would you consider joining our graduate program at Stanford when you're ready?" Dr. Mills from MIT followed. "Harvard would be honored to have you as well." One by one, the world's most prestigious universities began extending offers to a janitor's daughter who had solved the unsolvable. The live stream peaked at 200,000 viewers. Number sign Zara Williams exploded across every social platform. Mathematics departments worldwide began resharing the video of her presentation. But the most meaningful moment came when the same security guard who had questioned Jerome's credentials months earlier approached with a tablet. "Miss Williams, would you sign this for my daughter? She wants to be a mathematician now, too." 6 months later, Jerome Williams was promoted to day shift facilities coordinator at triple his previous salary. Zara received a full scholarship to any university mathematics program in the country, with the option to start whenever she felt ready. Dr. Pemberton's book deal was canceled during the live stream. His resignation letter was submitted the following Monday. The academic investigation that followed revealed a pattern of suppressed research and intimidated students spanning years. But perhaps the most important change was harder to measure. Thousands of young people watching that day saw something extraordinary. A girl who looked like them, from a background like theirs, proving that brilliance doesn't announce itself with credentials or pedigree. Today, Zara helps struggling students understand complex mathematics using the same simple explanations that conquered the Hartwell conjecture. She reminds them that math doesn't care about your address, your parents' jobs, or what people expect from you. The Hartwell conjecture taught us something beyond mathematics. It taught us that brilliance doesn't announce itself with degrees or credentials. It whispers in quiet moments, in unexpected places, through unexpected people. Sometimes the most profound truths come from those we least expect to teach us. Have you ever dismissed someone's potential before seeing their capability? Share this story if you believe every mind deserves a chance to shine. Because somewhere out there, another brilliant mind is waiting for their moment to change the world.
At Black Voices Uncut, we don't polish away the pain or water down the message. We tell it like it is because the truth deserves nothing less. If today's story spoke to you, click like, join the conversation in the comments, and subscribe so you'll be here for the next Uncut Voice.
Your kind doesn't get to sit here past 9. That's the rule. Derek grabbed Mr. Harrington's plate and slammed it down. The crash echoed. 3 minutes, then I drag you out. Mrs. Harrington reached for her purse, trembling. Her husband threw cash on the table. They left without looking at anyone. White customers at the bar watched, said nothing. Sebastian Langford sat at table 14, 8:56 p.m., 4 minutes until his turn. A waitress appeared, young, black, crying, leaned down. "Sir, you need to leave before 9 p.m. Her name tag, Simone. "Why 9? "Because that's when they clear out everyone who looks like us." Voice cracked. She glanced at the security camera, then at you. "I can't stop what happens next, but you can. Hit play and watch this empire crumble from the inside." Sebastian didn't move. "What protocol?" Simone's phone buzzed. "He's watching. I have to go." She left. Sebastian hit record. 8:56 p.m. 3 weeks earlier, Ethan's hands shook around his coffee cup. "Uncle Sebastian, something happened at your restaurant Tuesday. Talk." "Jasmine and I went for our anniversary. 8:30. Everything perfect. Then 9:15 hit. Manager started circling. Server brought the check. We didn't ask. What did you say?" "We wanted dessert." She looked terrified. Said private event prep. "On Tuesday?" "Yeah. Kept saying clear by 9:30. Ethan's jaw clenched. Jasmine grabbed my hand, said look around. Every black and brown person gone. White people at the bar ordering rounds. "You see setup?" "Sat in the parking lot 20 minutes, nothing, zilch. Dining room empty while bar stayed packed." Sebastian pulled out his phone. Googled reviews. 5 stars. Best steak. Impeccable service. Then deeper. Manager hovered until we left. Asked about private event at 9:05. Watched him high-five the bartender after we walked out. We tipped 25%. They still wanted us gone. First twist. Manager celebrated. Third visit. Third time kitchen's closing at 9:15. But I walked past on my way out. Fully staffed, music playing, laughing. They weren't closing. They wanted me gone. Second twist. Kitchen wasn't closing. Pure theater. Birthday dinner ruined. My daughter cried. She's 8. Asked why the man was mean to us. Unwelcome after 9. Forced out for ghost event. We're black. 6 months of reviews. Same nightmare. Sebastian's stomach turned. What the hell had I built? He'd poured everything into Meridian. 100-hour weeks, maxed credit cards, proved a Southside kid could build something premium, named it Meridian, highest point. Then Vincent pushed expansion. 6 locations. Franchise it. Build an empire. Split. Sebastian 51%, Vincent 49%. Vincent ran operations. 18 months ago, Vincent called. Bro, you're stretched thin. Let me handle day-to-day. 20 years of friendship. Sebastian trusted him. He stepped back. Vincent built something evil. I'm going tonight, undercover. What if they recognize you? They won't? Been ghost 18 months? Sebastian stood. If this is systematic, I need proof. Then what? Burn it down, rebuild it. That night, jeans, plain shirt, cheap watch, Uber, fake name, table 14, ordered steak, Cabernet, 8:52 p.m., food arrived, 8:55 p.m., Simone checked phone, face drained, 9:02 p.m., unsolicited check to table 8, black couple, 9:03 p.m., Derek hovered, 9:08 p.m., couple left, woman squeezed Simone's hand, Simone cried, 9:11 p.m., another black couple, check, 9:14 p.m., Latino family. Private event, lie. Every black and brown customer cleared. Every white customer laughing. Pattern undeniable. 9:16 p.m. Simone whispered warning. Now 8:57 p.m. 3 minutes. Derek walked from back office. Looked at table 14. Typed. 8:58 p.m. Simone by kitchen, gripping order pad. Begging silently. Sebastian cut steak. Eye contact with Derek. 8:59 p.m. Derek walked toward him. Professional smile, cold eyes, bar full of white men, $18 cocktails, nobody bothered, 9 p.m. Derek reached his table. Sir, Derek Brennan, floor manager. Everything meeting expectations? Excellent. Wonderful. Need to inform you, closing dining room at 9:45, deep cleaning, health department. On Wednesday? Quarterly mandate. What time reopen? Bar stays open, dining room temporary, normal tomorrow, smooth, rehearsed. Appreciate it. Derek paused. I can arrange bar seating, more comfortable. I'm comfortable here. Flicker across Derek's face. Enjoy. Walked away, phone out, typing fast, 9:03 p.m. Simone appeared. Please, he texted the owner. You need to go. Who? Mr. Caldwell? Vincent, his partner. When? 10 minutes. Lives close. Always comes when someone refuses. Gets ugly. What does he do? I can't. Phone buzzed. Pale. He's asking if you left. Sebastian pulled out business card, slid it. Tell him I'm still here. Sebastian Langford wants conversation. Eyes wide. You're the founder. I am. Keep recording everything. Can you? Hands shook. If he finds out, he won't fire you. Promise. I need evidence. Nodded. Phone out, recording. Left, 9:08 p.m. Dining room empty except Sebastian. Bar roaring. 9:12 p.m. Back door opened. Vincent Caldwell. Silver hair. Expensive suit. Saw Sebastian. Stopped. Recognition. Confusion. Shock. Cold calculation. Walked toward table 14. Sebastian straightened. Vincent's face cycled through emotions. They locked eyes across empty dining room. Sebastian. Voice ice calm. What are you doing here? Sebastian gestured at empty tables. White customers at bar. Pattern undeniable. I could ask you the same thing. Vincent stopped 3 feet from the table. You should have called. Seems like perfect timing. Sebastian gestured at empty tables. Where'd everyone go? We're preparing for a private event, I know. Haven't seen setup, though. Vincent's jaw tightened. If you want to discuss operations, I want to discuss why every black and brown customer gets cleared at 9 while white customers drink until midnight. Silence. Vincent's eyes flicked to the camera. Back to Sebastian. You're making assumptions. I'm making conclusions. 6 months of reviews, my nephew. What I witnessed. Sebastian pulled out his phone. What I've been recording. Vincent's mask cracked. California's 2-party consent. For public opinion, for the board, for every customer you betrayed. Sebastian stood. Every employee you coerced. You've been gone 18 months. You have no idea. Then explain. Right here in front of your staff. Vincent glanced toward the kitchen. Simone in doorway. Maya beside her. Line cooks behind, all watching. Derek frozen at bar. This is not the place. This is exactly the place, Sebastian's voice carried. Every night, 9 p.m. clockwork. You don't understand? Yeah, understand what? Revenue optimization, competitive advantage? Explain how clearing black customers makes business sense. Vincent's face flushed. I never... Then what? Pause. Vincent choosing words. We optimize table turnover during peak bar hours. Standard industry practice. By targeting demographics. By managing flow based on spending patterns. Say it plainly. Who gets cleared at 9? Dinner guests who finished. What color, Vincent? Silence. Heavy, damning. From the kitchen, Simone's voice, small, shaking, brave. Black customers, Latino customers, anyone not white. Vincent spun. Simone, you're out of... No. She stepped forward. I'm done staying silent. 4 months you made me do this. 4 months watching people who look like me get pushed out. 4 months lying. 4 months hating myself. You were executing policy, racist policy. You texted every night, status reports. If I didn't clear them fast enough, you threatened my job, my mother's insurance. Maya stepped forward. He made me too. Said I'd be replaced. Line cook. I thought it was just me. Vincent looked panicked. 3 hands up. 4. Derek slowly raised his. Protocol 9. Sebastian looked at Vincent. You named it. Systematized it. Why? Someone had to make hard decisions while you played visionary. By discriminating. By optimizing. Same thing. One's illegal, one's business intelligence. Sebastian hit play on his recording. Why every black and brown customer gets cleared at 9. We optimize table turnover. Then Simone's voice. Black customers, Latino customers, anyone not white. Sebastian stopped playback. Still business intelligence? Vincent stared. At phone, at staff, at camera. Vincent laughed, short, bitter, like a villain in a bad cop show who just realized the hero's wearing a wire. You'll regret this. No, you'll regret what you built. I'm tearing it apart. Back door opened. Black man, mid-40s, looking for restroom, saw empty dining room, clustered staff, face off. Everything okay? Vincent turned. Professional smile tried, failed. Sir, we're closing. No, Sebastian cut in. We're not. Sit anywhere. Dinner's on the house. Man hesitated. Vincent's phone buzzed. He glanced at it. Typed fast. His face changed. Not anger, something worse. Fear mixed with determination. Sebastian's gut screamed. Who are you texting? My lawyer. Bullshit. Who? Vincent pocketed phone. Looked at Sebastian. 20 years of friendship curdling. I increased revenue 34%. By discrimination. By making calls you were too weak to make. Hard calls. Sebastian's voice went cold. You built a system that treats people like data points. You coerced staff. You documented racism and called it strategy. He stepped closer. And you did it in my name. Using my dream, my restaurant, my reputation. Vincent's face hardened. Your restaurant? I've been running it 18 months, keeping it profitable while I trusted you. That ends now. You can't. I own 51%. I can do whatever I want. Vincent smiled, thin, cold. And destroy 6 locations, 43 employees, millions in investor capital, your legacy. I won't profit from prejudice. Vincent's phone buzzed again. He looked at it. Something crossed his face. Relief? Anticipation? He typed back. Fast. Sebastian's stomach dropped. Who the hell are you texting? Vincent looked up. Backup. What backup? You think I'd come alone? You think I'd let you destroy everything without a fight? Vincent's smile widened. Help's on the way. And when they get here, you're going to wish you'd stayed quiet. Behind Vincent, through the front windows, headlights pulled into the parking lot. Not just 1 car, 3. Sebastian's blood went cold. What did you do? What I had to. Vincent crossed his arms. Game's not over, Sebastian. It's just getting started. The front door opened. The 3 cars sat in the parking lot. Engines running, headlights on. Nobody got out. Vincent smiled. Second thoughts, Sebastian? Who's in those cars? Insurance. Vincent pulled out his phone. You want to see the documentation? Fine. He opened a spreadsheet, turned the screen. The spreadsheet glowed blue in the dim restaurant light. 7 columns, color-coded, green for white customers, yellow for black, orange for Latino, blue for Asian, green for white cash cows, yellow for US low yield. Sebastian's stomach dropped. You categorized people by race, by demographic segments, standard marketing. This is profiling. Sebastian scrolled. Red notes column allowed. Table 8, black couple, cleared by 9/12, bar revenue up 18% that hour. He looked up. You measured removing black customers. I measured table turnover. You measured racism. Simone stepped forward. Show him the texts. Vincent spun. Simone, show him what you sent every night. Simone held up her phone. Message history glowing, 9:03 p.m. Vincent. Table 11 status, 9:05 p.m. Vincent. Execute protocol, 9:07 p.m. Vincent. Clear them by 9:15 or we discuss your performance. Sebastian stared. You threatened her. I managed expectations. You coerced compliance. Simone scrolled. June 3rd. I said this feels wrong. He said execute or he'd find someone who will. I said please don't fire me. My mother needs insurance. He said do your job. Maya stepped forward. Same to me, July. Derek from the bar. Me too, August. Asked if it was legal. He said what they don't know won't hurt them. Vincent looked trapped. You're taking this out of context. What context makes threatening employees okay? Sebastian's voice cut. Tracking customers by skin color? Running a profitable business. Bar clientele, white professionals, spend 63% more after 9. That's math. Math built on racist assumptions. Pattern recognition. Data doesn't lie. Data reflects what you choose to measure. You chose race. You chose to correlate it with revenue. You chose to clear out black customers. Vincent took his phone back. They worked. Revenue up 34%. Blood money. Profit margin. 20 years poisoned. Where's the rest? What rest? You documented everything. Where's the full system? Vincent's jaw tightened. My office. Sebastian stepped toward him. Then let's go. No. Vincent, take me to that office or I call the police. Let them decide if this constitutes discrimination. You wouldn't. Try me. Stalemate. Staff holding breath. Bar customers noticing. Vincent's phone buzzed. He looked. Fear crossed his face. What? My lawyer. Says stop talking. Says leave now. You're not leaving until I see everything. You can't keep me here. I can fire you for cause, terminate the partnership, lock you out of every system. Sebastian stepped closer. Or you show me what you built. We handle this internally instead of publicly. Vincent calculated. You want to see it? All of it. My office. Just you. No. Simone comes. Why her? Because she's who you victimized. She deserves to see what you built on her suffering. Simone's eyes filled. You don't have to, but if you want to understand the system, come. She nodded. Vincent turned, walked toward the back. Sebastian and Simone followed. Derek called out. Mr. Langford? Keep everyone here. No one leaves. Back in 10. They walked down the hallway. Footsteps echoing on tile. Fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. The smell of kitchen grease mixed with cleaning solution. Vincent stopped at his office door, key in hand. He looked back at Sebastian. Last chance to walk away. Open it. Vincent slid the key in. The lock clicked. The door swung open. Inside the office, monitors showing security camera feeds, filing cabinets, a desk with laptop and tablet, and on that desk, glowing in the darkness, a presentation deck open on the screen. Title slide visible from the doorway, franchise expansion proposal. Vincent's office door clicks shut behind them. Inside, the smoking gun. The presentation deck filled the screen. 43 slides. Sebastian photographed every page, Simone beside him doing the same. Vincent watched from his chair. How long? Sebastian asked without looking up. How long what? How long have you been doing this? 6 months systematic, 4 months full operational, and before? Vincent shifted. Trial period, testing the hypothesis? The hypothesis that clearing out black customers increases revenue. The hypothesis that optimizing demographic composition during peak bar hours increases revenue per square foot. The correlation with race is incidental. Sebastian stopped photographing, looked at him. Say that again. The data shows, no, say the part about race being incidental while looking at this. Sebastian held up the tablet. Page 14. Demographic breakdown chart. 4 colored bars. Revenue per customer by race. White, $87 average. Asian, $72 average. Latino, $63 average. Black, $58 average. You ranked us, Sebastian said quietly. You ranked human beings by profitability and skin color. I ranked spending patterns. That correlate perfectly with race. Correlation isn't causation, but you acted on the correlation. You built a system to remove the lowest earning demographics. Vincent stood. Sebastian, you're a businessman. You understand margins. This is efficiency. It's completely different. How? Because people aren't inventory. You can't write us off like bad stock. Vincent's jaw tightened. I increased revenue by 34%. Dirty profit, the kind that stains your soul. Vincent's phone buzzed. Loud, insistent. He glanced at it. His face changed. Relief? Fear? Sebastian stepped forward. Who's calling? No one. Answer it. It's not your concern. Everything in this restaurant is my concern. Answer it. Vincent declined the call, set the phone face down on the desk. It buzzed again immediately. Text message. Vincent looked at it. Typed back fast. Sebastian's gut screamed. Who are you texting? My lawyer. Bullshit, show me. Attorney-client privilege. There's no privilege if you're planning something illegal. Vincent pocketed the phone. You're paranoid. Am I? 3 cars in the parking lot, mystery texts. You're planning something. Simone finished photographing. I have everything. Vincent took the tablet back. What you have is proprietary business intelligence. If you distribute it... You'll what? Sebastian cut in. Sue us? I'd love to see you explain Protocol 9 to a judge. Silence. From outside the office, raised voices, Derek's voice, another voice, unfamiliar. Sebastian opened the door. In the dining room, a customer stood at table 14. Black man, early 30s, business suit. The man who'd come looking for the restroom. He was holding Sebastian's phone. This yours? The man called out. Found it on the table, still recording, heard everything. Sebastian's stomach dropped. He'd left his phone recording when he went to the office, Derek trying to calm him. Sir, if you'll just... Just what? Just leave like everyone else? The man held up the phone. I heard it all. Protocol 9, the spreadsheet, the threats, everything. Vincent pushed past Sebastian into the dining room. Sir, there's been a misunderstanding. No misunderstanding. I'm a civil rights attorney, Leon Harris, and I just heard a confession to systematic racial discrimination. He looked at Sebastian. You're the owner? Co-owner, majority, Sebastian Langford, Leon Harris. He held out the phone. I think you need this recording. Sebastian took it. Thank you. Don't thank me. Fix it. Leon looked around. Empty dining room. This place could be something good. Right now, it's just another place we're not welcome. He walked out. Vincent's phone buzzed again. He pulled it out. Red. His face went white. What? Sebastian demanded. Nothing. What does it say? Vincent typed back. Fast, panicked. Sebastian grabbed the phone from his hand. On screen, a text thread. Unknown number. We're here. Where do you want us? Vincent. Stand by. Not yet. Unknown number. Clock's ticking. We don't wait long. Sebastian looked up. Who the hell is we? Give me my phone. Who's in those cars, Vincent? Security. What kind of security? The kind that makes problems go away. Sebastian's blood went cold. You hired muscle. To do what? Intimidate me? Intimidate witnesses? To protect my interests. Your interests? You mean covering up discrimination with threats? Vincent snatched his phone back. Typed, stand down. Change of plans. Response immediate. Too late. Boss wants payment. We're coming in. Vincent stared at the screen. Oh, God. What? I told them to stand by. I can't call them off. The front door opened. 2 men walked in. Expensive suits. Dead eyes. Not lawyers. Not security guards. Enforcers. The lead man scanned the room. Saw Vincent. Caldwell, we had a deal. Where's our money? Vincent's voice shook. I said stand down. And I said we don't work for free. You called us. We showed up. That costs. I'll pay. Tomorrow. You need to pay now. The man's eyes landed on Sebastian. Or we collect another way. Derek stepped forward. Gentlemen, this is a private establishment. The second man cut him off. We don't care. Sebastian's mind raced. Vincent had called enforcers, actual criminals, to a restaurant full of witnesses, to threaten him, to cover up Protocol 9. This wasn't just discrimination anymore. This was conspiracy, witness intimidation, possibly worse. Sebastian pulled out his phone, still recording, captured everything. Vincent, what did you do? I was protecting the business. By hiring thugs? By making sure you couldn't destroy everything I built. The lead enforcer's patience snapped. Enough, Caldwell. Payment. Now, or we start breaking things. Simone backed toward the kitchen, staff watching in horror. Sebastian raised his hands. Everyone stay calm. The enforcer smiled. No warmth. Smart man. So here's how this works. You pay us $5,000 for the call-out. Then you forget we were here. Then we forget we heard anything about, what was it? Protocol 9? Sebastian's jaw locked. You want to cover up racial discrimination for $5,000? We want to get paid for our time. What you people do to each other, not our problem. It's about to become your problem, because that camera, Sebastian pointed to the security feed. That's recording, and I'm calling the police. Right now. He dialed 911. The enforcer's smile vanished. Bad move. He stepped toward Sebastian. Derek grabbed a wine bottle from behind the bar. Don't. The second enforcer pulled back his jacket, gun visible in shoulder holster. Derek froze. Simone screamed. Vincent's voice cracked. Wait, stop! This wasn't supposed to. I just wanted. The 911 operator answered. 911, what's your emergency? Sebastian spoke clearly, calmly for the recording. Armed men at Meridian Steakhouse, 1247 Commerce Street. They're threatening violence. Owner Vincent Caldwell hired them to intimidate witnesses to racial discrimination. Send police immediately. Officers are on the way. Stay on the line. The lead enforcer looked at his partner, looked at the cameras, looked at Sebastian still recording on his phone, calculated odds, sirens in the distance, getting closer. Caldwell, you're a dead man. He turned and walked out. His partner followed. The front door slammed. Outside, the 3 cars peeled out of the parking lot, tires squealing. Gone. The dining room fell silent except for sirens approaching. Vincent collapsed into a chair, head in hands. Oh God, oh God, what did I do? Sebastian looked at him. 20 years of friendship, 8 years of partnership, all of it destroyed in one night by Vincent's desperation to protect a system built on hate. You tried to cover up racism with violence. That's what you did. 2 police cruisers pulled up outside, lights flashing. Officers walked in, hands on holsters. Who called 911? Sebastian raised his hand. I did. I'm Sebastian Langford. I own this restaurant. That man, he pointed at Vincent, is my former business partner. He's been running a discriminatory operation called Protocol 9. Tonight he hired enforcers to intimidate witnesses. I have everything recorded. The lead officer looked at Vincent. That true? Vincent said nothing, just stared at his hands. Sir, I asked you a question. Vincent's voice was barely a whisper. I want my lawyer. That's your right. The officer looked at Sebastian. We're going to need statements from everyone. And that recording? You'll have everything. More police arrived, then detectives, then inevitably the news vans. By midnight, Meridian Steakhouse was a crime scene. Yellow tape across the entrance. Evidence markers on tables. Witnesses giving statements. Vincent was arrested. Conspiracy to intimidate witnesses. Attempted extortion. The discrimination charges would come later. He was walked out in handcuffs. Cameras flashing. Reporters shouting questions. He didn't look at Sebastian. Didn't look at anyone. Just kept his head down as they put him in the police car. Sebastian watched him go. Felt nothing. No satisfaction. No sadness. Just exhaustion. Simone stood beside him. Is it over? The criminal part? Yeah? The rest? He looked at the empty restaurant. The shattered dream. That's just beginning. Camera lights. Blinding. Sebastian stood center dining room. Reporter's mic inches from his face. This wasn't an accident. This was systematic, documented, designed to scale. Jennifer Wu nodded to cameraman. Show us. Sebastian held up his phone to the camera. Swiped through photos. 43 slides, created by Vincent Caldwell, page 14. He swiped. White customers $87, Asian $72, Latino $63, Black $58. Jennifer leaned in. He tracked by race? Color-coded spreadsheet, every customer 6 months. Sebastian swiped. Green, white, yellow, black, orange, Latino, blue, Asian. That's illegal. It's definitely wrong. What else? Sebastian swiped fast. Implementation guide, training materials, text templates. 6 potential franchise buyers. 3 loved the demographic management strategy. He was selling this system. Camera caught everything. Simone stepped forward. I have more. Jennifer turned. You are? Simone Prescott. Assistant manager. Forced to execute protocol 9 months. Show us. Simone held her phone to camera, thumb hovering over messages. Her voice shook, reading them aloud. 9:14 p.m. Me. Sir, they're black customers. This feels wrong. She scrolled. 9:15 p.m. Vincent. Execute or I'll find someone who will. Scroll. 9:17 p.m. Me. Please don't fire me. My mother needs insurance. Scroll. 9:18 p.m. Vincent. Then do your job. Simone looked at camera, directly at viewers. If this was you, would you hit send? Silence. Heavy. Jennifer to cameraman. You getting this? Every word. Maya stepped forward. Phone out. Me too. Maya Torres, server 2 years. 9:22 p.m. Vincent. You're hesitating? Problem? 9:23 p.m. Me. Feels wrong clearing people out based on 9:24 p.m. Vincent. Based on operational efficiency. Execute or we find someone who can. Derek from bar. Phone out. 8:51 p.m. Me. Is Protocol 9 legal? Should we document customer consent? 8:53 p.m. Vincent. What they don't know won't hurt them, just execute. 3 phones, 3 victims, 3 sets of evidence, all on camera. Jennifer to Sebastian. Where were you? Step back 18 months, trusted wrong person. When did you find out? 3 weeks ago. Investigated. Came undercover, witnessed it, confronted him, now ending it. What happens to Caldwell? Arrested tonight. Conspiracy, witness intimidation, discrimination charges coming. Other locations? Full audit, every location, every policy. If Protocol 9 anywhere else, it ends immediately. The customers discriminated against? Reaching out personally. Everyone from reviews and records, apologizing, compensating, inviting back. Could cost millions. Don't care, care about doing right. Jennifer to camera. Jennifer Wu reporting live where owner Sebastian Langford revealed Protocol 9. More as this develops. Camera off. Jennifer lowered mic. Off record? Yeah? This goes national by morning. Ready? Sebastian looked around. Empty room, staff watching, dream corrupted. No, but truth has to come out. Even if it destroys everything? Especially then. She left. Quiet. Simone spoke. What now? Sebastian opened laptop. Started typing email to all managers. Staff meeting every location tomorrow morning. Full transparency. Start rebuilding. What if people don't come back? Prove we've changed. 1 customer at a time. Phone buzzed. Board chair. Emergency meeting 9 a.m. Explain everything. Sebastian typed, I will. Bringing evidence to Simone. Can you testify? To the board? Face them? I want them to hear from someone who lived this. Someone forced. Someone who broke free. Hands shook. I don't know if... You warned me. Recorded Vincent. Spoke on camera. He looked at her. At viewers through camera. If you'd seen this happening to someone else, would you want them to speak up? She wiped eyes. Yes. Then speak. For everyone who couldn't. Pause. Okay, I'll be there. Thank you. Outside crowd gathering, news spreading, social media exploding. Phone wouldn't stop. Emails, texts, calls. He silenced it. Looked at staff. Go home, rest. Tomorrow's brutal. But we face it together. We fix this. They nodded. Left. Shell-shocked. Derek lingered. Mr. Langford, I should have... You questioned it. Recognized wrong. Spoke up tonight. That counts. Derek left. Simone stayed. You okay? No, but we'll be. Can I help? You've done enough. Want to help more. Sebastian studied her, exhausted, shaken, determined. Help me draft the apology email to customers. Make it real from someone who understands. They sat table 14, laptop between them, started writing. Outside news van lights painted windows. Inside, 2 people rebuilt trust, word by word. 9 a.m. Next morning, conference room, 6 board members. Sebastian, empty chair. Vincent's seat. Margaret Walsh cleared throat. Sebastian, floor is yours. I need to bring in a witness. Open door. Simone walked in. Folder clutched tight. Richard Walsh frowned. This is irregular. What's irregular is systematic racial discrimination 6 months. Simone was forced to execute it. Silence. Margaret gestured. Miss Prescott. Sit. Simone opened folder. Pulled out screenshots. Slid them across. Text messages from Vincent Caldwell every night 4 months. Ordering me to clear Black and Latino customers after 9. Threatening my job, using my mother's health care as leverage. Board members passed pages. Faces darkening. Vincent sent these. Every night. Patricia Liu. What were you ordered to do? Deliver unsolicited checks, claim fake events, hover until they left, make them feel unwelcome. If you refused, threaten to fire me, my mother's disabled, needs insurance. Voice cracked. 4 months I watched good people pushed out, people who looked like me. Margaret's jaw tightened. How many customers? Sebastian spoke. 270 documented. Actual number higher. What spreadsheet? Sebastian turned laptop. Color-coded demographics displayed. Vincent tracked every customer by race. Green, white, yellow, black, orange, Latino, blue, Asian, correlated with spending to justify Protocol 9. Patricia stared. Protocol 9? Systematic removal of black and brown customers after 9 to maximize bar revenue from white customers. Oh my God. There's more. Sebastian pulled up franchise deck. Vincent planned to franchise this, pitched to 6 investors as competitive advantage, called it demographic management strategy. Clicked through slides. Horror spread across faces. Margaret stood, walked to window, back. Where is Vincent? Arrested last night, conspiracy, discrimination charges pending. Door opened. Vincent Caldwell walked in, suit wrinkled, lawyer beside him, out on bail. Margaret's eyes narrowed. Vincent? I'm still 49% stakeholder. I have right to defend myself. Lawyer nodded. My client maintains no wrongdoing, data-driven operational optimization. Sebastian stood. You're joking. Lawyer continued. Efficiency measures based on spending patterns. Correlation with demographics is incidental. Incidental, Simone's voice cut. You made me destroy people's dignity and call it incidental? Vincent looked at her. You executed company policy. Racist policy, operational policy. You threatened my mother's health care. I set performance expectations. Sebastian slammed table. Enough! Vincent, look! Pulled up deck, page 14. You titled this demographic management. You ranked races by profitability. You marketed this to investors. Vincent's calm cracked. I built profitable system. Revenue up 34%. By discriminating. By making calls you were too weak to make. Margaret's voice was ice. Mr. Caldwell, are you defending racial profiling as business strategy? I'm defending proven revenue optimization. Using race. Using data. Patricia stood. I've heard enough. I move we vote. Full termination. Buyout under conduct detrimental clause. Removal from all positions. Ban from all property. Second, Richard said. Margaret looked around. All in favor? 6 hands shot up. Unanimous. Vincent's empire? Crushed in 10 seconds flat like a bad Yelp review going viral. Vincent Caldwell, you're terminated. Effective immediately. 72 hours to accept buyout. Refuse and we litigate. Vincent's face went white, then red. When this company collapses, and it will, remember you chose ideology over profit. We chose human dignity over blood money, Sebastian said quietly. Vincent looked at lawyer, walked a door, stopped, turned. This isn't over. Yes, it is. Vincent left, door closed. Margaret sat. Damage assessment? Media explosion. Stock down 22%. 3 franchise deals canceled. 2 investor groups out. Lawsuits? Sebastian's stomach tightened. Coming. Customers, employees, civil rights groups. How many? Legal estimates 50 to 80 individual suits. Class action potential. We're looking at 15 to 30 million settlements. Minimum. Richard whistled. Can we survive that? I don't know. Patricia leaned forward. What's our liquid capital? 8 million. We'd need to sell locations. Maybe all. Margaret looked at Sebastian. We might shut down completely? I'm saying we do what's right. Compensate victims, even if it costs everything. And if we can't recover, then we don't deserve to. Silence. Richard broke it. Vincent's lawyer is aggressive. He'll countersue. Wrongful termination, defamation, lost earnings. Let him, we have evidence. Evidence obtained through 2-party recording in California. His lawyer will challenge admissibility. Sebastian's blood ran cold. The recording might not hold up. We're in for a war, legal, financial, reputational, and we might lose. Margaret stood. Then we fight. What do you need? Sebastian looked at Simone. I need Simone as GM, board support for full reform, capital to compensate victims, and time. How much time? 6 months, maybe a year, to prove we've changed, to rebuild trust. If customers don't come back, we close with integrity instead of profit from prejudice. Margaret extended hand. You have our support. They shook. One more thing, Sebastian said. How many countersuits total? Richard checked notes. Vincent filed 3 this morning. Wrongful termination, defamation, tortious interference, combined seeking 40 million. Sebastian felt room tilt. 40 million? He's trying to bankrupt us before victims can sue. Patricia swore. Drain our resources on defense so we can't pay settlements. Can he win? Some probably. Defamation might stick if we can't prove malice. Margaret's voice hardened. We fight everyone, and we win. But as Sebastian looked around the table, one question echoed. Can we survive? Lawsuits loom, vultures circle. Somewhere, Vincent is smiling. 3 days later, Sebastian's lawyer served Vincent with buyout papers. 7 million, 72 hours. Vincent's lawyer called hour 71. My client accepts, but he's filing wrongful termination. Let him. We have recorded confession and unanimous board vote. Vincent was gone, officially, permanently. Now came rebuilding. Day 4, all-staff meeting. Every employee from all 6 locations, 143 people, packed the dining room. Sebastian stood at front. No podium, no notes. Last 4 days have been hell. National news. Stock down 22%, 3 lawsuits, 2 more coming. Revenue destroyed, investor confidence shattered. Silence, tense. We deserve it. 6 months this company became a tool of discrimination. Vincent designed it. I enabled it by being absent. He looked at Simone. Some of you were forced to execute Protocol 9. You're victims. Anyone coerced has immunity. Full stop. Free counseling available. Pulled up first slide. What's changing? Everything. Rapid fire through reforms. Anonymous reporting hotline, third party, 24/7. Mandatory anti-discrimination training. Everyone, monthly. Staff-led policy committee. Quarterly reviews. Everyone gets voice. Full transparency. Demographics tracking banned. Permanently. Victim compensation fund, 500,000. He paused. Leadership change. Simone's head snapped up. Simone Prescott promoted to general manager. Flagship location, effective immediately. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Then cheers erupt like a game's winning shot. Whistles, applause, feet stomping. Simone, come up. She walked forward, shaking, staff still cheering. Sebastian handed her folder. Salary 95,000, benefits. Bonuses tied to staff retention and customer satisfaction. Not revenue optimization, never optimization. Simone opened it, started crying. A server in back yelled, "You earned it!" Another, "Hell yeah!" Maya started chanting, "Simone! Simone!" Others joined, the whole room. "Simone! Simone! Simone!" Simone covered her face, shoulders shaking. Sebastian waited, let the moment breathe. When it quieted, Simone looked up. I don't know if I can. You can. What if I mess up? Derek stood in back. Then we'll help you. We're a team now. More applause. Maya stood. You stood up when it mattered. That's leadership. A line cook. You saved us all. Simone wiped eyes. I'm terrified. Good, Sebastian said. Fear keeps you sharp. Confidence makes you sloppy. Use the fear. She nodded. Okay, I'll do it. Standing ovation. Longer this time. Real, raw. Derek raised hand. What about me? You questioned it. Spoke up when it mattered. You're not fired, but not floor manager. You're assistant to Simone. Learn from her. Prove you've changed. Thank you. Sebastian looked at Maya. Maya Torres. Promoted to assistant manager. You showed courage. If you want it. Maya jumped up. Yes! More cheers. Energy building. Hope replacing fear. Sebastian pulled up final slide. Our new mission. Excellence without exclusion. We lost that. We're getting it back. The room erupted again. Applause, whistles, some crying. Sebastian raised hand, quieted them. One more thing. Tonight's the test. First service under new leadership. Reservations are down 70%. Protesters outside. News vans watching. Everyone's waiting to see if we mean it. He looked around room. So here's the question. Tonight at 9 p.m., when Protocol 9 used to activate, what happens? Do we panic? Do we revert? Do we prove the critics right? Silence. Or do we show them who we are now? A server stood. We show them. Another. Damn right we do. The energy shifted, from nervous to determined, like a locker room before the big game. Then let's get to work. They scattered. Prep mode. Focused. That night, 5 p.m., doors opened. Protesters outside with signs. News vans parked. Social media buzzing, but people came. Some curious, some supportive, some giving second chances. Simone ran pre-shift meeting, her first as GM. Things are different now. If you see something wrong, say something. This restaurant belongs to all of us. Nervous energy, new territory, everyone on edge. Service started. 6:30. First table seated. Black couple. Early 40s, guarded. Maya served them. Warm, genuine. 7 p.m., Latino family arrived. Kids in soccer uniforms. 7:30, mixed group, white, black, Asian. College friends celebrating graduation. 8 p.m., more arrived. Dining room filling. 8:30, Simone checked reservations. Better than expected. Not packed, but steady. Staff adapting. No more Protocol 9 scripts, just real service. In kitchen, Sebastian worked line alongside cooks, learning, supporting. Marcus, the line cook with the record, plated perfectly. Chef, that's beautiful work. Marcus smiled. Thanks for the shot, Mr. Langford. Thank you for taking it. 8:50 p.m. Simone checked her phone. Habit, no text, no Vincent, no status report, just her mom. Watching the news, so proud baby. 8:55 p.m. The dining room energy shifted, staff glancing at clock, muscle memory kicking in. Derek noticed servers tensing up, walked to server station. Hey, breathe, it's just 9 o'clock, just another minute. Maya nodded. You're right, it's just time. But her hands shook slightly. 8:58 p.m. 3 black couples still dining, 2 Latino families, 1 Asian couple, white customers scattered, all eating, all laughing, all staying. 8:59 p.m. Sebastian emerged from kitchen, stood beside Simone, both watching the clock, staff watching too, holding breath, customers oblivious, enjoying meals, celebrating moments. The clock hit 9 p.m. Nothing happened. No texts, no hovering, no unsolicited checks. Lights stayed same. Service stayed warm. Nobody left. Simone exhaled, didn't realize she'd been holding breath. Derek caught her eye from across room, gave thumbs up. Maya smiled, kept serving. 9:05 p.m. A black couple at table 8, different couple, not the Harringtons yet, ordered dessert. 9:15 p.m. Latino family still there, kids drawing on placemats, parents relaxed. 9:30 p.m., still dining, still laughing, still celebrating, still treated with dignity. Simone walked to server station, looked at her team. We did it. Maya hugged her. We did it. But as cameras outside recorded everything, as social media watched and judged, as protesters decided whether to come back tomorrow. One question remained. First night down. But will anyone come back? Will trust rebuild? Or will this be our last stand? Tomorrow will tell. 6 weeks later, 8:45 p.m., Wednesday. Meridian's dining room half full. Not packed, but steady. Rebuilding. 2 people walked in. Older couple. Dressed nicely. The woman hesitated. Hostess smiled. Good evening. Reservation? No, we've been here before. Weren't sure if we'd be welcome. The hostess recognized something in their faces. Guarded hope. You're always welcome. Let me get our manager. Simone came from kitchen, saw the couple, stopped. Mrs. Harrington, Mr. Harrington, table 8, the anniversary couple Derek cleared out. Simone's eyes filled. Mr. and Mrs. Harrington. You remember us? I remember everything. I owe you an apology. What happened that night was wrong. What I did was wrong. I'm so sorry. Mrs. Harrington stepped forward. Honey, we saw the news. We know you were caught in something terrible. That doesn't make it okay. You were trying to survive. We understood even then. You shouldn't have had to understand. Mrs. Harrington took Simone's hand. Baby, we've lived long enough to know the difference between someone cruel and someone trapped. You were trapped, but you're free now. We can see it. Simone wiped eyes. Dinner tonight is on us, completely. And if you stay past 9 p.m., please stay. Nothing will change. I promise. Mrs. Harrington smiled. We'll stay as long as we want. Thank you for another chance. Thank you for fighting back. Simone led them to table 8. Same table, everything different. Maya served them. Genuine warmth. Good evening, I'm Maya. Welcome to Meridian. Thank you, we're celebrating. What's the occasion? Second chances. Mrs. Harrington looked at her husband. And forgiveness. 9 p.m. clock, struck 9. Around the dining room, 4 black couples, 3 Latino families, 2 Asian couples, white customers scattered. All eating, all laughing, all staying. Nobody told to leave. Nobody got early checks. Nobody unwelcome. Table 8, the Harringtons ordered dessert, chocolate torte, 2 forks. You know what's different? Mr. Harrington said. What? The staff. They're really smiling. They look happy. Because they're not being forced to destroy themselves every night. At the bar, Derek poured drinks, learning to rebuild trust. He'd never be floor manager again, but he could be better. Kitchen, Sebastian worked the line. Half his time now, half cooking, half fixing systems. Order up table 14. Sebastian plated ribeye himself. Perfect. Sent it. The cook beside him, Marcus, 22, hired 3 weeks ago, watched. Mr. Langford, why are you in the kitchen? You're the owner. Because I forgot what this was supposed to be? Restaurants aren't spreadsheets. They're people taking care of people. Marcus nodded. My last place. Owner never learned my name. What's your story? Just got out. 18 months, drug charge, non-violent. Nobody would hire me except you. You show up on time, work hard, respect the team. That's what matters. Thank you for the chance. Thank you for taking it. 9:30 p.m. Simone walked past table 8. Harrington still there. Dessert finished, coffee ordered, laughing. Mrs. Harrington caught her eye, smiled, mouthed, "Thank you." Simone smiled back. Something in her chest loosened, something tight for months. Server station. Maya appeared. The Harringtons left a note. Napkin, handwritten. Simone, you didn't just save a restaurant. You saved yourself. That's the bravest thing. Keep going. We'll be back. Eleanor and James. Simone pressed it to her chest, breathed. Sebastian emerged from kitchen, saw her face. You okay? More than okay. She showed him the napkin. He read, smiled. You did good. We did good. All of us. They watched the dining room, staff moving with purpose and pride, customers eating in peace, dignity served with every plate. 10 p.m. Harrington stood to leave. Simone met them at the door. Will we see you again? Mrs. Harrington hugged her. Every month, same table, same night, you're stuck with us. I'll take that deal. They left hand in hand. Simone locked door, turned off lights, stood in darkness. Phone buzzed. Her mom. How was tonight? Simone typed, perfect. She looked around empty restaurant. 6 weeks ago, this was a crime scene, now healing, slowly, painfully, but healing. Tomorrow, she'd open doors again, welcome whoever walked in, serve with dignity, prove change was real. One night, one customer, one moment of humanity. That was the job now, not revenue optimization, not demographic management, just taking care of people, all people. Sebastian joined her in darkness. How do you feel? Like we're finally doing what we should have done from the start. What's that? Treating people like people. He nodded. Sounds simple. Should have been. They stood together, silent. The weight of what they'd almost lost, the gratitude for what they'd saved. Outside, city hummed. Somewhere, customers who'd been pushed out were deciding whether to give them another chance. Some would, some wouldn't. But the ones who came back would be treated right. With dignity, with respect, with the excellence that was always meant to serve everyone, not just the ones someone deemed profitable. Everyone. Simone's phone buzzed again. Anonymous tip line notification. Someone reporting something at another location. She opened it. Read. Sebastian, we got a report. Location 3. Manager making inappropriate comments about customer's accent. Sebastian straightened. Call him now. He's suspended pending investigation. I'll be there first thing tomorrow. On it. This was the work now. Constant vigilance, constant accountability, constant commitment to being better. It would never end. There would always be another problem, another test, another moment requiring courage. But they'd face it, together, because that's what real leadership looked like. Not perfection, just showing up, every day, doing the work, fixing what's broken, building what's right. Simone locked the safe. Turned off final lights. Ready to go home? Yeah, big day tomorrow. They walked out together, locked the door behind them. The sign above still read Meridian in gold letters, still the highest point, still the peak. But now it meant something different. Not the highest revenue, the highest standard, of dignity, of respect, of humanity. That was worth building. That was worth fighting for. That was worth everything. 5 months later, Simone stood on stage at the National Hospitality Leadership Conference. 300 restaurant owners and managers filled the ballroom. My name is Simone Prescott. 5 months ago, I was an assistant manager executing a racist policy called Protocol 9. Today, I'm here to tell you how we dismantled it. She clicked to the next slide. Before and after numbers. Our anonymous reporting hotline has received 48 calls. 12 policy changes resulted. 3 managers terminated. 21 employees received promotions based on integrity. Next slide. Revenue dropped 18% in the first quarter. We lost 4 franchise deals. 2 investor groups pulled out. She paused. But by month 5, we stabilized. New customers started coming. Old customers gave us second chances. We're rebuilding. Next slide. Photo of the Harringtons at table 8. This couple was discriminated against on the night everything broke. They come back every month now because we proved change is real. She looked at the audience. If you see something wrong in your workplace, document it. Take photos, save texts, record dates and times, build evidence. If you're being forced to execute discrimination, you're not complicit. You're coerced. Find someone safe. Report it. Your testimony matters. If you're a business owner, audit your partners. Audit your policies. Create anonymous reporting systems. Your values are either protected by systems or they're just words. Sebastian watched from the front row, proud. After her speech, a young woman approached, mid-20s, Latina, nervous. Miss Prescott, I work at a restaurant downtown, and I think something like Protocol 9 is happening there. Can you help? Simone handed her a card. Call this number. Legal aid. They'll walk you through documentation and reporting. You don't have to fight alone. The woman's eyes filled. Thank you. That evening, Sebastian and Simone stood in Meridian's dining room, 9:15 p.m. Full dining room, diverse faces, laughter, celebration. No one was leaving. No one was being pushed out. We did it, Simone said quietly. You did it. I just gave you the space. We both did it. Sebastian's phone buzzed. Email from the board. Investor confidence returning. Q3 projections looking strong. Well done. He showed Simone. She smiled. So we proved it. Proved what? That doing the right thing doesn't destroy business. It builds it. Took us long enough to figure that out. Better late than never. They watched customers eat and laugh and stay as long as they wanted. The clock struck 9:30 p.m. Nothing changed. Everything had changed. If you've ever felt unwelcome after a certain time, your experience is real. If you've watched staff struggle with policies they don't believe in, you're witnessing something. If you're being forced to execute discrimination, you're a victim, not a criminal.